Yeah, yeah.
It's the end of the world.
So I was just
How'd you
listening
get
to
stuck like that?
I was just
I'm
listening
gonna
to
see.
Matt and Shane's secret podcast, and apparently the
Dude,
two black guys aren't brothers. The cool brother lives still in Philadelphia. So I don't know who the fuck Nate is. Is that the one you don't like?
I like the black dudes. I just don't think they're. It's just one of those things of. It's probably just jealousy. I think I should be the one hanging out with Shane. Like Matt's
Yeah,
perfect, but if they needed a third guy, even though the third guy should be black, that works out well. But I feel like it should be me sometimes. So, but I wouldn't say I don't like them. They're
there's
definitely built weird.
there's some heavy differences between us and them because without any shame in his voice at all, on this last podcast, Shane mentioned how he doesn't know how to drive a stick shift. I would never say that out loud.
Yeah, I definitely know how to drive a stick shift. That's for sure. But
Yes,
yeah, at his age, he should definitely know how to do it.
yes, yeah, dude. It's like you're 40. You're almost done living. How do you not know how to
Dude,
drive
it
a
blows my
stick?
mind in the car business. There's guys that don't know how to drive stick. There's like they're usually younger, but they'll sell a car and then the trade in if it's a stick, they're like, "Can you go park that? Because you got to park the trades back like in the back lot somewhere." And they're always like, "Can you go park that for me?" I'm like, "Dude, you can't. You're in the car business and you can't drive a stick."
Yeah, like you sell these.
Yeah, you sell these and you can't drive a stick. It's hilarious. But
That would
yeah,
be like somebody selling pot that doesn't know how to take a GD swap.
that don't know how to light a lighter.
Yeah, like I
Dude, the
can't
biggest,
trust your
strongest
weed.
guy I know, Jordan, I told you about him. He's like super nerd. He'll be a billionaire one day because all he does is go to the gym and figure out what to invest in. But
Yeah,
I was the one that he smoked pot like once before me, so I was like really the one that he still doesn't really smoke pot. But yeah, I remember he's like 280 pounds, like not ripped, but like not fat. It's muscle, you know. But
yeah,
he can't light. He's so afraid of like the lighter burning him. Like he can't light a lighter. You got to light the lighter and kind of tip it.
yeah. Well,
Like, he's so afraid he's gonna burn himself.
like if you smoke cigarettes long enough or weed, you're gonna get burnt. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, yeah. Shit, this dog's
Also,
gonna fuck this crate up.
also,
I'm gonna take. Holy shit.
you were talking about how he's mostly muscle, dude. I think a little bit of fat. I feel healthier with just a little bit, not a lot,
Well,
like just a
he's got
thin
my
layer.
body type. It's just everything's big. He's got my body type. It's everything's bigger. You know what I mean?
Because I got a little. I mean, I'm a little chunkier than I would like to be right now, but I never run out of energy when I'm working out, and no matter what I'm doing, I'm fine.
Well,
And
that's
you're
what
a
I was gonna
little
say. He
warmer in the
actually, he
winter.
actually looks like you. Just everything's a little bit bigger.
Yeah,
Like we're both a little fat, but we got that. We're like muscular fat, which is night
I
and
haven't
day
been
difference.
working out, but my traps are still there. You see them, like the
You're
shape.
a big shouldered guy. You're never gonna
Yeah,
lose those shoulders, you know.
I hope not.
No, that's fucking
Yeah, yeah, but you
brain
can go
stuff.
back. So like I can push right here and feel where it's soft right now. But if I work out
Of course.
for one day that whole
What's up,
week,
big dog? Hey, come say hey to the podcast real quick. No, 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 you good. Hey, that's my neighbor right there. Look, me and my buddy, we do a podcast, and you can do it over the phone. It's called Riverside. Say hey to the people.
what
This
up?
is Jody. This is Jody, but the podcast is called Peeling Shrimp. He's the one that got the truck stuck.
Yeah, yeah, I remember.
Dude,
Yep, yep.
was that Groot out? Groot was that his bark earlier? Dude, he's got the loudest, scariest bark ever. Oh my god! Because I had the puppy out by herself, and it sounded like the Sandlot dog, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" But I can't see around the porch that well. But I didn't know if it was like another dog that was loose. That's their bark. Okay, he was barking at them. Dude, he don't bark a lot, but he's got a scary bark, dog. He's got a scary bark, dude. I fucking came out. I was like, I didn't know if there was another dog loose, so I wanted to grab her, and I couldn't see around the shed, but I didn't want to necessarily look around the shed and there's a dog right there. I don't know. You know, y'all don't need that anymore. Take it. Y'all still need it, man. Take your time. Yeah, brother. Anytime. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course. Anytime y'all need it, man. No worries. Hey, do you usually get those bricks and all right there? I can grab some of them. All right, I appreciate you, dog. Yeah, but sorry about that. Yeah, that was the neighbor.
What do you need bricks for?
Matt. Just trying to make like little walkways. Like it floods right outside the door of the camper.
I got you.
You know? Yeah. So
Dude, if
like
I
I
had
found
like,
these in the trash. You see those big white concrete ones?
yeah,
I found those in the trash, dude. They're stained, but they're perfect.
are you when you put them? Do you know how to lay like pavers down?
I mean, in a shitty way. I did it for my dad's house back in the day.
Uh, like you take a flathead shovel and like kind of level the earth.
Yeah, of course. What do you
Yeah,
think I
yeah.
fucking? That's like
Well,
when Greg tried to tell me how to level out the camper, and he's like, if it's tipping on one side, you just put more. It's over in the left.
yeah, it does seem
See?
like, but I've done some landscaping work is the only reason.
Yeah. I'm
Not a
sure there's
lot, just
tricks to
enough.
it that I don't know, but yeah, I know to level the ground out first.
Yeah, yeah. I think you
What do
want
I
them like
look
kind of
like?
sunk a little bit. You look like a
No, yeah,
donkey.
there's stuff like if I do it, if I'm doing it by myself, it's not gonna look professional for sure. But I think a lot of that's out of laziness, probably
Yeah, but dude, I
more than
wish right
know-how.
now I want middle aged man money so I can do middle aged man stuff like pavers and fruit trees and I want to do
I
that kind
know,
of shit.
dude. I've been loving planting trees around and stuff. Like, look at this. So when I first got here, the only thing that was planted out here was this tree. So I came
Yeah,
out, I planted that one next to the grill, that one. I had something planted there, and my mom wanted to move, so I moved it, put the new grass patch that I dug up there, and then not that big one over there, but this one, those little ones. Like now, I'm
yeah,
starting to use that fertilizer that I made,
yeah,
the compost it. I'm like,
yeah,
it's like you were talking about before. Like the older you get as a man, you do start enjoying that like weird shit like that.
yeah.
Like I enjoy coming.
Well,
It's a practice in patience because I come out here and I want the plant to be like grown
right.
already. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it's the same thing. Um, like Confucius talks about like finding serenity in the ritual. Like that's why bonsai trees are so fun because like
Yeah,
you just go out there and you spend a little bit of time with it, and it's really a mindless task. But it like centers you.
yeah. There's something about
And
a
I
mindless task that does that. Yeah.
yeah, I've gotten some good ideas sitting here peeling shrimp before.
Oh, for sure, for sure. That's why I want you to go up and do at least one open mic. Because once you do it and you start
Yeah,
really writing jokes, you'll be amazed. 'Cause I know you already think of jokes, but once you're like, I know you know this, but once your brain starts concentrating on something, and not like sitting there trying to figure out a joke right then and there, but just as you're walking around day to day, like all these
yeah.
jokes are popping in your head, like more than usual. They get, but it's so, dude. I don't care who you are. It's so scary doing an open mic, especially the first one. Just go
Oh yeah.
do it, dude. Be okay
No,
with the fact you'll probably bomb. Who gives a shit?
yeah, it's probably gonna definitely suck.
But they borrowed the bike. Hey, Miranda. uh Sorry, I'm trying to make sure Charlie don't.
Nah, you're good, bud.
Hold on one second. I'm ruining this podcast. Do y'all want to hang out with Charlie for a second, or should I bring him? All right, Charlie, come on. Charlie, come on. Charlie, does this thing pause? If I hit stop, no. If I hit stop, it makes you start a new one, don't it? Charlie, come here. Hey, Miranda. Uh, yeah, come on. There we go. Are you? All right. Okay. Yeah, my kidney stones are still killing me anyway. It's tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Oh, great. Or Joe, should we start a new one? You think? I
Nah, it's
feel like if
fine.
someone
Fuck
was
it.
watching, they would have turned it off. You know what you think?
Nah, just
I
put it
know.
in the bank, man. Nah, fuck them.
Put it in the bank. Okay.
Yeah, we'll just
Um.
no. I
Do
mean, we'll just use it. We'll just use it anyways.
so you don't want to
Like,
restart? What is it?
yeah, I'm saying we'll just fucking stick it on YouTube and what you
Yeah.
know. The consistency is what's going to grow the channel, and then
No,
as
I agree.
it'll get
I
better and
agree.
better. Yeah, fuck it.
Well, we were gonna have one no matter what, but No, I'm with you. I just wanted to get your opinion. Oh, but guess what
Yeah.
happened to some St. Augustine news, dog?
What?
Fucking dude, you probably heard about it. Dude fucking does suicide by cop last night. Here, put it.
Dang.
Is your sit horizontal?
Oh shit. Nah.
I just made mine. Um, I just made mine horizontal too. Mine wasn't before.
Hold on.
Dude does suicide by cop yesterday,
Right?
and there's a video of it and everything. It's crazy. Like on US One, kind of by Royal Golf Parkway, and
Okay.
suicide by cop. Then I find out it's the girlfriend of, or it's the boyfriend of a girl in the rooms, and just crazy, man. I guess they haven't been in that long, and me being a little like nosy guy, you know, I didn't really know him, but I kind of know his girlfriend from the rooms. But I look at his Facebook page. This happened last night. Even right now, the last video he posted is like he hid the phone and the camera while they had like an argument, and they're arguing
Really?
about like how she cheated and stuff. And then
Right?
yeah, sure enough, like that must have been earlier in the day because he posted it. And then later that night, I guess he goes up to her work, where I think they worked in the same spot, and they were dating. And he had saw stuff about her cheating, but also cheating with like maybe a boss, and maybe cheating more than once, but cheating with the boss. So he goes up
Whoa.
there with a gun. He goes up there with a gun, shoots at the guy like 20 times, doesn't hit him though, and then steals his truck and then runs away. And then they catch him. They try to do like two pit maneuvers on him, and the second one worked. And then he gets out of the car and he's like, "Shoot me!" He's got the gun in his left hand. He's like, "Shoot me, kill me, shoot me, motherfuckers!" And then like 5 seconds later, dude, they just bow, 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 start shooting his ass and killed him.
Damn.
And I can't believe that video is still on. Not only is the video on Facebook, like it's almost like no one has seen it. Like everyone's heard about it. It's not like hidden news, you know. It's on,
Yeah.
you know, and like, but you go to that Facebook page, because I was going to it because I figured I was going to see all these RIP, rest in peace. There's none of those. There's just the video he made of that yesterday. And I'm like, how do you not have any RIPs and just that video of what actually, because you hear about these kind of things on the news, but you don't ever hear like the backstory of it. So the video is
No.
literally like 5 minutes of like what's been going on in the relationship before this happened. It's crazy.
Some nights when I know it's crazier because it's local, but like there's some nights when I'm on reels where like you really see some crazy shit. Like there's a caption on the videos. It's like the dark web has more secrets than the ocean, and I'm going to show you every single one. They're like all these clone channels that do it.
That do
And
what?
it's like last night I watched like a compilation of car crashes, and you can tell they're real. A lot of them are old.
Real quick, a compilation?
Yeah, like 5 or 10
You
car
just Ricky,
crashes.
a compilation?
Compilation. You're compiling.
Fucking Ricky over here?
No, you
Maybe you're
compiling.
right. I don't think you're right, but maybe you're right.
I'm definitely right.
A
You compile.
compilation.
Yeah, but you're compiling
Yeah,
the
but
videos. We're pronouncing it differently. Tomato, tomato. And I'm saying
somebody's
it's
going to be
tomato.
making fun of one of us. If
Fair
you say
enough.
so.
If that's the dumbest thing I do today, I'm doing good.
I'll digress. No, I could be the dumb one. I don't think I am, but I could be.
But fucking, so like, and then there was one of like this guy that suits up his lawnmowers, takes the deck off and jumps shit. It's an old one, but it was all of his videos in one. And it's like, dude, he should have died every single time. And then you get the real hardcore shit where it's like death by cop. I've seen a bunch of those. Seen drive-bys, people getting drove by on.
Well, real quick, the
Facebook
crazy thing to
Live.
me though is that getting the backstory, and not like from a
Right.
documentary that's made where you see the
Right.
crazy video of the backstory. Just like my own little fucking research almost.
Right.
It's fucking. I mean, it wasn't like all I did literally was figure out the guy's name and look at his Facebook page.
So
But
like if
it
you
was
like
crazy.
if you put all that information together and then posted it with the video of him getting killed by the cops, that would be like one of the videos that I watch.
See, and I would love to do that, but I'm in AA with the girl, and I'm hoping she keeps, or in the rooms with the girl, and I hope she keeps coming back, and she does, because there's got to be a level of embarrassment. You know what I mean? Apparently, the meeting yesterday, she had to leave. Like, apparently, the detective called her, and she had to leave the meeting. But that only makes sense because it seemed like even the shooting happened at like 4 o'clock, and I heard that happened at like the 8 o'clock, 8 p.m.
How sober
But
is
I'm
she?
hoping she doesn't stop going from embarrassment or it just all being so crazy, that it affects her sobriety. And in that case, like, I wouldn't feel right making it because it's definitely something that it's not going to stay under wraps, but I don't want to help promote it with
Right.
someone who I'm in the rooms with, and I'm not close with her by any means, but fucking, it just seems like it's like I almost wanted to send the video to a bunch of people, but I was like, nah, like I literally am in the rooms with this girl. I don't,
Yeah. A little too close to home.
a little too close, yeah, a little too. But I mean, it's not the girl's fault because even if she was cheating, apparently the relationship was only a couple months old. And if you're gonna go shoot
Psycho.
at your boss, you're gonna go shoot at your boss and then get to, pull a gun out on cops and get yourself shot. That's something. That's shit that's been happening your whole life. Like that's the straw that broke the camel's back. Like April got me that mad about this time last year, but I was never close to doing anything like that.
Yeah, like
You
pulling
know
up
what I
and
mean?
killing her boss.
Yeah, I was trying to embarrass her and put. So I told her like, if you're gonna still, if you don't give me my money back, I'm gonna put out embarrassing stuff I know about you. But like, which I'm not proud of. But that's a hell of a lot different than going in because she was actually hooking up her boss. It's pretty much like the same scenario.
Right.
So like, if you think I didn't, I had thought of like I would love just to go shoot him and her and fucking death by cop. Like I had those thoughts, you know what I
Right.
mean? But there's a difference between having them and going and doing them.
Yeah, I've had some psycho thoughts too. You just get caught up, man. And you know what? It's a big
But it's
reason
just a
why.
passing thought. But there's a thought, but it's not like a thought I talked myself out of. Like it was never in the
No,
realm of possibility. But I was like, it would be nice if I lived in Grand Theft Auto.
I do remember that Alicia girl was staying with me, and like we were breaking up. I remember I threw a brick through her friend's window, the back door. It
Yeah,
wasn't near
yeah,
nobody, but like that's probably the
yeah,
craziest thing I've ever done. Is
yeah,
I
yeah,
smashed her friend's car. It's just
yeah.
still psycho.
There's just something about, man, and everyone's had those thoughts. There's something about being in a relationship, especially when you think you love someone, and
Yeah,
then you get betrayed. I think that was you I was talking to with where I don't, maybe it wasn't, but you only get betrayed by people you love.
yeah, because
Because if you didn't love them, not.
yeah, it's like that other saying: you only make peace with your enemies.
Yeah, I never heard that one.
Yeah,
I like
I
that.
mean, the only people that can betray you are people you love, and the only people you can make peace with are your enemies. Me and you already have peace.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And I think there's something too, man. Like I've heard people say, if you never loved them, then you don't really hate them. Like you have to love someone first to be able to hate them.
I'll say something even weirder than that. Women, I don't believe are this way, but men, I don't think if you ever love a girl, I don't think you ever completely stop caring for her, no matter how long
No, I
ago the
don't think
girl
so
was.
either.
I think there's some
I don't think so
now.
either.
Women can go from one to another. It's drastic and dramatic, and
Yeah,
they're fucking super emotional, just like we are. But they can
they
cleanly
get
cut you out of their
over. They
life.
get over it. Yeah, they get over it quicker and easier.
I think about some of my early girlfriends, like in like middle school, and it's not like I still like them, but there's still like a fondness for them. There's like
Yeah,
a small
yeah.
like spot of light where I'm like, I still have some feeling for that person.
I think we love deeper than girls, man, especially in this
Probably,
generation.
we love more
I think,
completely
and I
for
do. I
sure.
think there's something. I think there's something caveman, animalistic, like scientific about it too,
Yeah,
because like, and I'm having a hard. I'm kind of brain fogged right now, especially like the kidney stones. It's hard to think and shit, but I think there's something too, like scientifically about like why we fall harder. So, because you got to think also, like if we love someone, if you go back to caveman times, that means we're willing to die for them. Like it's our job to
right.
die to like let them get on the fucking rafts while we stay on the boat. Maybe
Yeah,
that's why you should make a sandwich and shut the fuck up. Because if we ever go down
yeah,
on a boat,
yeah. Well, Andrew Tate talks about the exact thing you're talking about. Like,
yeah,
What the reason you have to shut your mouth when we're out in public, woman, is because if you open it, it could get me killed.
I'm the one that's got to fight.
I'm the one that's got to deal with this shit. If I'm a real
And
man.
I love what Patrice O'Neal says about that too, because he says like, if your woman goes popping off at a guy in public and gets you in a fight, he goes, that's your fault. He goes, you should train your bitch better. And I've told girls that I'm like, if we're ever like, you ever got an issue with a man, you let me deal with it how I want to
Crazy way
deal
to
with it.
say it, but it's right.
Don't go get me. But don't go get me in a fucking fight because you're
Right.
emotional. Because you're not. I mean, you weren't in the. You heard about the wreck with me, Ben, Nay, Slim, like where Ben was out in the
Five
country
States.
and he was going like literally going like 80, and we were listening to Freebird and I was telling him to slow down. He goes, I take these roads every day, and right as he says that, a 90-degree turn comes, 90
I know,
degree fucking turn,
dude. I know the
and he
exact place
goes
where you wrecked
right
at.
off the road. Yeah, he goes off the road. The ditch is so big that we had to climb on the roof and then jump onto the road.
Jesus.
And
Yeah,
then check
that's
this out.
Cracker.
So when we were leaving, Ben was shit faced, and I called shotgun, and Danielle stole it. And Ben let her because he was trying to fuck her. And I remember saying, I said, if we get in a wreck, you're going to be the one to die. So now that we've wrecked, we all jump out onto the road. We realize she's not up there with us. Slim, I think someone had to jump down, and her head was like the windshield was broken, and her hair was stuck in the cracks of the windshield. And we
Jesus.
pull her out. Like every seat was unbolted from the vehicle, and there was like 2 miles of walking in the country, all fucked up to get to Ben's house because like
Yeah.
either we didn't have a cell phone or there was no service, right? As we're walking, it's me, Nay, Slim, and Ben, and like so we're all pretty good fighters, and her. And so we're good fighters, but we're all like limping and all fucked up. Like my head broke the side window. So we're walking. This car drives by, and we're trying to wave them down to give us a ride. And they laugh at us and flick us off. Danielle starts cussing them out. Luckily, they didn't stop. They just kept driving. But I started to cuss out Danielle. And I was like, I was like, what the fuck are you doing? She's like, I can handle him. If they got out, I don't give a fuck up. And I'm like, no, but it's not even your choice. I said, first of all, you're not going to beat up one of those guys, much less the whole car. But they're
Yeah.
not going to, if they decide to stop and come fight us, it's not even your choice. They're going to come
Yeah.
fight us, not you.
It's not
So
up
now
to you.
you're putting us in a scenario, and we're all beat the fuck up. We're all hurt. And like
Right.
they could have a gun. There was all kinds of shit. And it was funny because Ben had a joint that he got out with. So the one solace is as we're walking, we're smoking a joint. And like it took forever, dude. We're limping, we're bleeding out of our heads. And it don't look too bad in terms of how we look. So when we get
Yeah.
to Ben's house, his dad's like, oh, what's going on? And Ben's like, oh, I wrecked the truck into a ditch. But he like downplayed it.
Yeah.
So his dad's like, motherfucker. So his dad and his friend go to look for the vehicle. But before they leave, they're like cussing Ben out, you motherfucker, because he's making it sound like he's just trying to win the ditch. They were
Yeah.
gone for like 2 hours. They were gone for 2 hours because the ditch was so. And I wouldn't even say it was a ditch. You've seen it's a 90-degree turn, and
Yeah.
then there's a hole on the
It's a
other side.
canal.
So it's a canal. So we flew off, hit trees, and then made it slide down. But the car's underneath the road. So when they go looking for it, they can't find it. Finally, they find it. Like I think they called Ben. They're like, "Where exactly is it?" They finally found it. When they came back, the first thing Ben's dad did, he came back. He's like, "Are you guys okay?" He went from being like super pissed to like when he showed up,
Yeah.
he's like, "How are y'all? How are y'all not dead? How are y'all
Yeah.
okay?"
No, that's where Cracker Swamp turns into West Deep Creek. I know that spot.
Yep.
A few people have wrecked there.
And well, then Ben's dad's friend gave us Percocet, so it ended up being dope. Gave us Percocet, we smoked weed and shit. But it was
Even
funny because he
after,
was listening to Freebird right before he wrecked, and I remember thinking, I'm like, oh, of course, because I was always skeptical when people drove like that, and I was like, dude.
Ben,
Matter of fact, the two worst wrecks I've ever been in, there's that one, then there's flipping off 95, definitely going over 100 because I looked at the speedometer. Both times I was like telling the person to slow down, and right after I did, the fucking wreck got.
I love Ben's parents and his sister Georgia. She was really cool.
Yeah, they're a cool family for sure.
I was all junked out one night, and she let me come stay at her house, even though she had a boyfriend and he didn't know me or anything, and let me and Heather
Yeah,
come fucking crash on the couch one night. I'll never forget that
When,
because it was
what's the
it
story behind that?
was just on drugs. Remember, I was living in the Thunderbird for a while, camping and shit.
You were what?
Living in that green car for a while. Remember the Thunderbird?
So when is it? When was this? We weren't. I never remember going to hang out with you and you were in a car. I remember you talking about it.
Yeah,
What
I
year
had
is
that
this?
green. The car was a '91. This is around '08. It was maybe yeah '08. Yeah,
Oh,
because my
okay.
son's born in '12. You don't remember I used to live in that shitty house next to Ronnie's house, that little trailer?
No, I remember that.
That's the car that you threw the basketball at that cracked the window.
Well, but when you lived in the shitty place next to Ronnie's, J5 was like 2 years old.
No, he didn't. He wasn't alive
For
yet. Jody
sure.
was.
Did you live
No,
there twice? Did you live there twice?
the camper. I lived there for a while. No, because Jody was conceived in
God
the fucking.
damn it, Charlie. Go ahead.
The, Jody was conceived in a tent. I
Sure.
remember the day that she got the pregnancy test.
Gotcha. But I swear, when you lived in that house, though, J5 was already alive, though. When you lived in the
No,
house where, like, you literally could only stay in one room and, like, the rest of it
yeah, Jody
was,
wasn't
like,
around yet. No, Jody never lived
okay.
there. When Jody was first born, we lived at the camper where Tigger lived. I'm not the camper, the trailer where Tigger lived with me.
Yeah, dude, where you know about what the landlord said about you after.
Uh-uh. I'm sure. I almost burnt
Dude,
that place down the first day.
I I almost want to ask you off air because it's so embarrassing, but I know you and you don't give a fuck, especially now that you've been sober almost a decade. All right, but so you lived there with Tigger, and then you moved out, and then Tigger took over the lease, right?
Yeah,
But the landlord didn't know that Tigger was friends with you. Didn't know that Tigger lived there with you beforehand. When he took over the
right,
lease, Tigger was just this new guy taking over the lease. So
right.
when he was renting it out to Tigger, he goes, "Well, keep it clean in here." He goes, "The last dude left it such a mess." He goes, "When I came to clean it up," he goes, "I opened the oven and it was full of dirty diapers."
Yeah,
Who
I
the
threw a bunch
fuck?
in there.
Who the fuck throws dirty diapers in the oven, Jody?
It wasn't over. It wasn't an accumulation. It was like we knew we were getting kicked out. I had a bag full of them, and I was like, I'm not taking these to the road.
Oh, so okay, so that wasn't an accumulation. You weren't sitting there
No,
storing them there.
it's still
Oh,
crazy.
okay.
It's
So
still
you were doing it
insane.
as like a fuck this guy more. It is still
Yeah.
insane, but it's slightly better for some reason.
Well, because it means there wasn't where we cook our food. There weren't shitty diapers. Not that we ever cooked.
Yeah. No.
We
Yeah. No.
always
I know
ate
you
out.
weren't like cleaning the diapers. Oh, you remember I told you I hit you up a little bit later and planned because I was talking to Greg.
Hmm.
I was telling him because he's a great guy to do like a podcast like this with too because he's funny. Not in terms of a third guy with me and you, but someone from like me to do it with.
Yeah.
But it was funny too because he's a very straightforward guy with how he thinks about my friends. And he was
Right.
like, yeah, he's like, I always liked Jody. He goes, I don't know Jody that well, but he's like, just from what I do, the times we have hung out and all that, he's like, he always thought you were a good dude. And that's saying a lot because he hates Lee. He thinks Lee's a scumbag. He hated Dayton, and considering like he don't really know you as sober Jody. He's talking about
Right.
you when you were used, and he still was like, yeah, Jody's a good dude. And me
I
and him are
always.
very honest with how we feel about our friends. Like he knows I don't like, like I've always hated Ryan and fucking never really liked Robbie, but I like his buddy Frank. Like we're always like super honest about how we do each
I
other's friends.
well,
But he gave you
to
props.
be.
I just wanted to throw that out there.
I appreciate that, and I love him anyways. But to be fair, Dayton is a piece of shit.
He's, yeah, he is. He is.
I still
His
love him,
problem was he was always trying to be Kingsley, and he just couldn't.
yeah,
He wasn't as smart as Kingsley.
yeah, he was, yeah, he's trying to be
Charlie,
slimy.
well, Charlie, I mean, Kingsley was a legitimate gangster, especially in
Right,
terms of like St. Augustine. Like St.
right,
Augustine's not like a gangster place really, but you could argue it's one of the most gang. I told you about when me and Dayton and Donnie went to buy blow in the projects, right?
yeah,
We got surrounded by dudes with guns. We were 14, 15, maybe 16. We went to buy like an 8 ball. We got surrounded by like 12 black dudes pulling out of guns ready to rob us. And luckily, the dealer walked up, and the dealer was like, "Yo, that's Kingsley Lawrence's little brother," talking about Dayton. And they were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, my bad." They like literally apologized, like, "Oh, I'm sorry," because Kingsley went and did like a 10-year bid, and he got pulled over with like kilos, and he ran and he got away, but like he like without a doubt didn't snitch. And I remember one time we tried to go to a club when we were like 15, and we were obviously too young, and the bouncer was like, "No, no, no." And then Kingsley came out and gave the bouncer $100 for every guy. So it was like me, Lee, and Tigger, and he gave him $300 to let us
Yeah.
in underage because we were like significantly underage. It was like,
And that's a lot
I
of
looked
money
older
back
at
then.
15, but you were supposed to be like 21, and we were like 15. So yeah, no,
Right.
Kingsley had like multiple cars, like all of them had headrests, like TVs in the headrest, and this is
Yeah.
like 2003, 2004, and
Yeah.
like and multiple property. Like Kingsley was a gangster, so Dayton always tried to beat him, but Kingsley had to at least been smart. Because I didn't know him that well. He was significantly older, but he always had like a
Yeah.
huge Cuban link chain. He always had nice motorcycles, nice cars. And he never had a job. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like he was obviously a successful
At
coke
what he was
dealer.
doing.
Yeah, and he's dead now, so I can say that. Matter of fact, here's a funny story. Me and Tigger, Dayton, Kingsley was in jail, and it was at Dayton's mom's house, but he had like two cars there that were real nice that his mom was holding for him. And I didn't realize this at the time, but apparently there was probably a good amount of cash that was being held in the house too. So, but Dayton leaves, and I'm hanging out with Tigger, and I go, and we knew Dayton was coming right back. We knew he was leaving and coming right back with like his sister and Kingsley's uh, baby mama.
Yeah.
So I told Tigger when they left, I was like, 'cause we were supposed to leave and come back. And I go, how funny would that be if we go hide in the shower? So when they come back, Dayton will come get in the shower and we can scare him. That was literally my intention.
Right.
And so that's what we did. But so when Dayton finds us, he's on the phone with Kingsley in prison. And he's like, what the fuck? So all he tells him is, yo, we left and my friends were in the shower. And now Kingsley thinks we stuck around trying to rob him and we didn't make it out of the house in time.
Right.
So and we're like, dude, and I'm like, dude, you know us, dog. We're not like Tigger was a huge thief, but I
Right.
wasn't, and Tigger still wouldn't rob Dayton.
Tigger
Like
was
as
Rob
much of a
Dayton.
thief as as much of a thief as he wouldn't rob Dayton or Kingsley. So like luckily like Dayton knew that, like he was pissed, yelled at us. But he made me get on the phone with Kingsley while Kingsley was in prison. And Kingsley knew me from when I was like a little kid because his mom and
Right.
my mom were like really, really close. So my Dayton was like, it's Dylan, and it was like, it's Miss Shelley's kid. And he goes, oh, put him on the phone with me. And I go on the phone with him. He's like, you motherfucker. And I'm like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And he's like,
Yeah.
he's like, I could have you handled right now. And not by Dayton, but by, someone else.
Yeah. Other people. Yeah.
Someone else. Yeah, yeah. And I'm like, yes, sir. No, sir. No. You know, I apologize. And rightfully so. It did look bad.
Yeah.
And it looked like a terrible. If it wasn't me and Tigger, like we would have like got fucked up by someone else. And then like a week later, someone literally did go rob his cars that were in the driveway for like the TVs and the headrests. And you know who I
Yeah.
think it was? I
Dayton.
heard the rumor on the street was your fucking cousin.
Norman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That was never proven or anything, but I think his name came because I remember all the shit him talking about it. I remember.
Yeah,
Charlie!
because
I'm listening.
I'm sure that him and Kingsley were around the same generation.
For
So
sure.
he
Well,
probably-
people also just knew that they knew Kingsley had money. Even if Kingsley was an older generation, which I think he was, like, if you were a local in St. Augustine and in that scene, you knew that those are Kingsley's cars. You knew where they were. They weren't in the best neighborhood. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but I mean, the cars also looked like they would have TVs. But it was crazy because that was the first vehicle I ever seen with TV screens. You know what I mean?
About
So they weren't like overly like that, but
how'd he die?
motorcycle accident.
I remember that now. I
so-
remember.
Yeah, and he had his son. He had his son on the motorcycle with him, and his son kept saying Colby Lawrence, and his son, who I heard was in the group hanging out when my cousin died.
Yeah,
Apparently, the names are starting to come out about who was with my cousin when she OD'd and who ditched her in the woods and shit. I heard they're
That's
in
a
jail.
whole nother can of worms right there.
That's a whole
He,
other can of worms, but But she was hanging out. But Colby Lawrence is like, they're all pretty and close. That's how my mom's friends with them, and that's how she's my cousin because my dad's brother hooked up with
Right.
Colleen, so that's how Heather's my cousin. And then like Kingsley Lawrence and Dayton's mom, and them, they're all part of the same friend group.
He had
So
that fighting dog Wacko, didn't he?
yep, he owned part of Wacko. Yeah, he owned part of Wacko.
Yeah,
That's how
part of
expensive
him.
Wacko was. Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's like a famous dog. Like if you live in this town, everyone knows who Wacko is.
yeah.
But yeah, him and Heather Burns. So their kid was Colby, and Sam Turner was Heather Burns' nephew. Remember Sam Turner?
I don't.
He was like younger than us. He always had a nice car and he sold weed.
I don't remember him, bud.
So actually, here's two stories out. But so
Where did he
Kingsley
live?
was on. So where Sam Turner? He lived
What
in
neighborhood?
what's the one behind the mall with the lighthouse in front of it? Palm
Oh
Harbor.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
he probably
And they
knew
lived on
Heather's
the
stuff.
island.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure.
I didn't know him, but I know the
So,
neighborhood.
but Colby was doing catwalks, or he wasn't, and Colby kept saying, "Will you do a Pop Willie?" And he was like, "No." And then finally he did it. And when he did it, he hydroplaned a little bit on a puddle, I guess, and he
Yeah,
was able to pull his son on top of him. So when they were like, his son almost died too. But
right.
since Sam Turner came up, you'll like this. So you remember Ralph Giannotta?
Doesn't sound familiar
All
either.
right, so he's not that important, but me and Greg actually were trying to buy our first ounce of weed, like a big purchase, what we thought was a big purchase of weed. So it was like all our money together, and we
Right.
were going through this chick who you would know, but I can't remember her name. But anyways, we didn't know, but she gave him the money. He left to go get it, which we would know. We weren't dumb, but we didn't know that's how it was going to go. So of course it comes back, and it's all weed leaves. So I end up getting her to give me the number of Ralph, and I call Ralph. A little prelude to the story, real quick. When our crew was going to fight like all the black football players, and it wasn't a race thing, it just kind of ended up being a race thing. But you remember when we were going to go fight them at Catalina's? Were you
Yeah,
friends with us yet?
I think so.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
we showed up 20 deep, and there was another 20 people on our side already there. And then like 4 Cadillacs pulled in, which was obviously them, but we already had 40 people at the spot, so they just kept going. So so Ralph is ripping me off now, me and Greg, right? I get Ralph's number and I call him and I go, look, dude, I said, you need to give me our fucking number back. Remember, this is a time where I had the crew. There was a point in time where me or you could assemble 15, 20
yeah,
pretty good fighters, and
yeah. I
really the
remember.
first 10 were real good. The first 10 were real good fighters. Even the last 5 out of 20 could hold their own. So,
Yeah, the real thing about that was you could do that in like 15 minutes. Like you wouldn't
of
have to
course, yeah,
explain.
100%.
You didn't have to
Yeah,
explain anything.
we're usually always together already. So one day we're at Heather Burns' house, which is Sam Turner's sister, which is Dayton's Kingsley's daughter, or
Yeah,
Kingsley's baby mama. So we're at Heather Burns' house, and she's a stripper, so she's gone. But we used her house to meet everybody at, and Sam lived there at the time because Sam's Heather's brother. So Sam is able to see me accumulate 20 people in a moment's notice. And then he didn't even go with us. So he didn't even see there was another 20 people. But I'm not going to take credit for the 20 that was already there. They were
right.
more like racist dudes that were they heard about it and thought it was a race thing. You know what I mean? So they kind of showed
Right.
up. But I accumulated 20 people on my own, at least 15. And like a lot of them were 6 foot tall, 6'3", some of them. And so Sam and I was the one who kind of initiated all of it. So it did look like I was the one doing it, which I was. I was kind of spearheading that instance, that moment. And so fast forward to Ralph ripping me off. I call Ralph. This is years later now. I call Ralph and I'm like, hey man, you need to give me my fucking money back, dude. You must not know who I am, yada yada yada, trying to sound like a gangster. And he goes, ha
Yeah,
ha ha, and he laughs at me. And I go, dude, if you're not at the 7-Eleven tonight at 6 p.m. with my money, you're fucking done. And he laughs at me and he hangs up. And then all of a sudden, like an hour and a half later, he calls me back. And he's like, all right, dude, I'll be there, 7-Eleven? And sure enough, he meets me there and he fucking pays me back my money. And I don't even know why. I'm just, I'm assuming word got to him or whatever. Now, fast forward another year, 2 years, something like that. I go to buy something from Sam Turner, or I end up around him for some reason. I'm pretty sure I was meeting up with him on purpose, but I hadn't been dealing with him a lot. Like I haven't seen him for a year and a half, and I saw him on Facebook, and he's like, "Yo, I got some weed if you need some." So I go meet up with him, and I'm sitting there smoking with him. He goes, "Dude, I don't know if I ever told you, but he's like, you remember when Ralph paid you back your money?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah." And he goes, "Ralph paid you back your money because he called me to brag about how he just ripped these guys off." And Sam was like, "Well, who did you rip off?" And he goes, "I don't know, some guy named Dylan Hart." And he goes, "You ripped off Dylan Hart?" And he goes, "Dude, go pay him back his fucking money." And not only did he pay me back my money, he was like super apologetic. And I assume that is what happened. That so word got to him that like, because in that moment, I'm not the baddest dude in the world, but in that moment, we had the baddest crew in St. Augustine for that age group. We
For
did,
sure.
dude.
For
There's
sure.
not a doubt in my mind. For that age group, there's no way we didn't have the best group of fighters.
Especially
There's sure
especially
enough
with
fucking
people especially with people
yeah,
like Pete and Luke and on the outrun
yeah.
that would what I mean? Because a lot of us
That
have
would
brothers and
ultimately come help if
cousins.
we needed them. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. But Sam and saw not only did Sam saw how quick I could get a group of people together to go fight. So he told Ralph, he's like, dude, give him his money back and apologize. And like, and him and Sam, I guess Ralph and Sam were pretty close friends. So as soon as Sam got on the phone with him, he calls me. He's like, dude, I'm sorry. I'll come meet you. Here's your money. Da da da. And Greg was half in on it, so I gave Greg his half of the money back. And he's like, "How'd you get that money back?" And I was like, "I'm not really sure." I knew in the back of my mind that's
Yeah.
basically probably what happened, but it was years later that I had actually found out what
Confirmed.
had actually happened. Yeah, like how it went down. And Sam was like, "Yeah, dude, I told him." He was like, "That's the last dude you want to fucking rip off." And I was like, "That's pretty gangster, though. There's some points in my life that were pretty gangster that I'm pretty proud of." That
We
was
had a
one of
lot
them.
of fun, dude. We had a pretty
Yeah,
good childhood, to be honest. For
we
running the
really did, man.
streets, none of us,
Yeah,
we mostly fighting, fist
15,
fighting and
15 to
stuff.
15 to 25 was pretty cool for us.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet.
Yeah,
But
and
then
then
the
even after that,
pills.
man, it was yeah. Even with the pills, man, those times, I guess the
Yeah.
wishbone stories that's before the pills, kind of. At least
Yeah,
for
it's
me.
before the pills.
Not really, though. I was already dabbling in them. It's not like the first pills I got were from you.
Yeah, but you weren't chemically dependent.
No, not yet. But I was starting to go down that path anyways because the Rap Boy's mom.
Yeah. Dude,
Rap Boy's mom used to look us up.
I only say this because everybody's resting in peace at this point. But Rat Boy's mom used to call me in the middle of the night and just like try to talk dirty to me on my cell phone.
No way.
I swear to God, dude. I kept that to
She's
myself
literally,
because
she literally is like the grandma from Squidbillies.
it's the worst. I didn't like play along, but I didn't hang up immediately because she had all the pills. You know?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
I really think she was playing with herself while she was talking to me. Because I really wouldn't say anything, and she would just talk
So you wouldn't flirt?
dirty.
You wouldn't flirt back,
I would not flirt back, but I would not hang up.
dude? You should have flirted back.
I
I
know, but
wouldn't have blamed you.
I don't know, man. One one thing about me, and it's
Bro.
the same with you. I'm not good at pretending I like somebody,
No, I know. I know.
even for pills,
That's my biggest weakness. For pills, I don't know. Yeah, even for pills, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
No, it's if I can't
it's
fucking pretend, dude.
I
I can
can't
pretend for
either.
like a minute, but like
Yeah,
even more than a minute. When people are giving me an ear beating and they're like, like uh, how about them Mondays or that water cooler bullshit? Like if I don't like them, or they're just talking about themselves, or like the worst is when I like meet someone. The worst is when I meet someone new and they're trying to sell themselves on me,
right,
like how cool they are. I'm like, dude, I'll fucking figure that out in 5 minutes, no matter what you say.
right.
I'm retarded, but if there's one thing I'm good at, it's vibes and picking it. You know what I mean? Except for with
Yes,
girls. Like if I'm attracted to a girl and she's got the body type I like and all that, you know what I mean? Especially that's why April got me so bad because I wanted a sweet girl that was petite like that and I was on Molly. So with an exception of girls like that are able to trick me. Like if I don't have a sexual thing where I'm trying to hook up with you or be with you as a chick, then like I'm pretty hard to fool.
well, that's the way that shit goes. That's why girls have so much power over us. That's
They
just
do.
natural.
Yeah, God made us stronger, so He gave them that thing.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. This guy was in a this guy yesterday was in a relationship with a girl for 2 months. Fucking goes tries to kill his boss
yeah, it's the
and
same thing.
does suicide by cop the next day. And I know that's what it was about because he made a video about what was going on in the relationship the day he did it. It's probably still on Facebook right now. I can't believe it. I couldn't believe that no one was on there like RIP. And then not only is there no one on there like RIP, but then on top of that, there's fucking video of what happened between them, and then there's video of him actually getting shot.
That's crazy. Honestly,
And like I said,
I would scream.
and then there's a girl in AA that's friends with her that I've been talking back and forth with. That I didn't get really new information off of her, but she knows a little bit more inside stuff. So it was almost in my lap to make a documentary about, but
If I
it's a
was
little
you,
too close to home.
I would at least go and screen record the YouTube video so that you have it.
Yeah, maybe in the future make something.
Yep. You never know. You might. I think it would
Well,
be
I
cool to
didn't
make a
tell the girl. It sounds like the girl. It sounds like the girl lied and she cheated and all that. But like, I wouldn't say it's her fault. Like
No,
for
me
him to
neither.
go do something that for her to crash, or for him to crash out that extremely, that's
Yeah.
some stuff that had nothing to do with her. She was the straw that broke the camel's back. Doesn't
Yeah,
sound like she did the right thing, but she doesn't deserve the blame for something that heavy.
No, people like that are already a little got their wires crossed when they
Yeah.
snap that hard.
And you can tell, like in the video, he's like, "You cheated and like embarrassed me," and all that. And you can tell that she's not denying it. She's kind of
Right.
like hugging him and saying sorry. She's like, "Hug me back," and doing that girl thing. But then I
Yeah.
found out they weren't in a relationship that long. So I'm like, dude, it sounds like you had high expectations for a girl you weren't with that long. But I've done the same thing. I've done it. Matter of fact, I do it every time. Just about.
Yeah. It's hard not to get attached. That's why I don't date at all. It's because I don't think that I can control myself. Not that, like on a killer tip or suicide tip, but like just on like I get taken out of my comfort zone in a bad way because then I'm like she didn't call when she was supposed to, or she like it gets fucking weird, dude. I've been single for like 2 years.
It's almost like we're addicts in terms of relationships. And yeah, I ignore I always tell myself I'm not going to ignore red flags with the next one. And then, dude, the amount of red flags I ignored with April was mind blowing. And it's funny because before her, I had two girls that I think were as attractive. They were actually cooler. They had better asses, gave better head, and all that. But Rebecca just broke my heart. So I told both of them I don't want to date either one of y'all. And they both stuck around with that knowledge. And I almost couldn't get rid of them.
Right.
That's what's mind blowing about when girls like, I want a guy that treats you nice. But not from my experience. From my experience, y'all seem to react more to instability. It
Yeah,
really
you say
seems that way.
Yeah, you say that you want that, but you don't.
But you don't. That's not what you react to.
Right.
It's crazy. And it's like, is it that you lie to yourselves, you're lying to everyone else, or you don't know what you really want? And it seems like it's not just one chick. It seems pretty consistent with every girl I've ever known, or any girl my buddies have ever dated.
Well, like
now that being said, me and my friends normally attract the pretty white trash chicks. Maybe there's chicks out there with both parents who are exceptions to this rule.
Well, it's like you were talking about. Like I've had certain buddies in AA stop going to AA. Matt says they're worshiping the other triangle.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Talking about vagina.
Is Matt? Yeah, dude. Thanks for explaining that.
Sorry. I just thought
that's a character you should play. Over explanation, Jody.
Over explanation, mansplaining, Jody.
Yeah. Oh God, there's nothing worse than a lesbian saying thanks for mansplaining. There's nothing that's made me want to hit a girl more in my life.
It was too funny. You didn't laugh hard enough. I knew you couldn't have heard it.
Oh, I definitely over explaining, Jody. They do that on O&A, Opie and Anthony, where like Jim Norton. He'll do like he'll have like all these characters like overly angry Jimmy and stuff like that.
Dude, I definitely over explain, but when I don't over explain, especially with my family, not so much with you or like my friends, but
You
with my
don't do
family.
you don't. The reason I called it out is because you usually don't over explain. That's
I
why
try,
I
but see,
pointed out at all.
but I get called out for that by my family like all the fucking time, all the time.
Probably because you're talking about shit that you know they don't really know about, and you
Well,
probably. I
no,
feel like your
because
gauge in knowing when to do it is probably pretty accurate.
what happens is I'll have a conversation with somebody, and then they'll go and say that the conversation went a completely different way. So then the next
Oh
time I
God.
converse, so next time I have a conversation with that person, I try to make my points clear, and then
Is she over there? She good? Go ahead. I'm listening.
and then if it gets twisted, I could be like, hey, I made a point to show you this is what I meant. You know, I didn't mean it
Yeah.
that way. So why are you telling people that? I fucking
Well,
hate politics.
I'm gonna go ahead and assume that you're talking about a woman.
Family, yeah, but family.
Yeah, but no, that's exactly what my mom does.
Yep.
It's just
And
weird.
so
Yeah.
I go way out of my way to be completely clear, so that
But no, but
whenever
see, if we're talking about the same thing, they know what you were saying, but they flip
I
it
know,
intentionally. So you
I
explaining it,
know,
yeah,
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 but explaining it carefully and concisely gives me ammo. At least they're still going to do it.
yeah.
But if I want to be a
It's
prick,
true,
I
but
can
why
be
do we
like,
have to have ammo though? Why do they make
yeah,
a like? But I know what you mean. I know what you mean. They make you go to war. That's what I tell
yeah,
my mom. I'm like, you make conversations into a competition that's like a war that they don't have to be.
and then I don't have no choice but to argue.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's either just be quiet and take shit. And then I can sit there and take shit, but like for me to sit there and be quiet and do it, I need to be accurate. Like when you sit there saying inaccurate stuff, it's very hard just to sit there and fucking listen to
Eat it, yeah.
it. Yeah.
No,
Like
I agree.
if you're gonna misquote me and all that shit, like ugh, I don't even want to go down that road.
I don't
Oh,
even
so
mind.
here, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I don't even mind misquoting me. Don't miscontext me.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah. So,
context
all
is
right,
what
but
matters.
let's get off that because I don't want to end it on a bad note. Which this isn't a great note, but you brought it up, and now I know I'm 99% sure you're the one that brought it up, and now I've seen it. The fucking chat, the 764 or whatever,
Yeah,
the chat room. Oh my god, you're the one that told me about that,
told
right?
you. Yeah,
Oh my god, bro.
yeah, it's terrible.
Explain what that is real quick for the people that don't know. You're
So
good at
the
explaining this kind of shit.
I don't know if it's 764 or 467. I forget
What
exactly,
is
but it's one.
what's that sound? What does that sound? That's fucking that.
What?
It's like all
I
right, it
don't
went
know.
away.
Okay, I don't have no fucking clue what that was. It was not on my
You're
end.
good. Sound like you're shocked. Sound like you're shocked or something.
No,
Go ahead. I don't
everything.
hear it no more.
But so the 764, the 674. I forget exactly what the order of the numbers is.
I think it's 764.
I think it is too. So what they're doing is they're like mass. It's almost like they're forcing people. It's almost like they're forcing people to kill themselves because they just push
Yeah.
on them and lean on them so hard, and
Or kill
like
other people, or kill
or kill other
puppies.
people. Yeah,
Yeah.
just real disgusting shit. And then so one of the videos I watched and I heard through another podcast, anyways, was like some girl was gonna kill herself. She was gonna hang herself, and the guy was like, "Do it naked because it'll be hot." Like this is like the level of
Yeah.
depravity. And it's not like they're
And
not
they're
joking,
blackmailing them into doing it.
right? And then they're blackmailing them. You looking for your
And you
dog?
know, sometimes the people they're blackmailing them to do it, sometimes they get them to start being a blackmailer too.
It's like weaponized peer pressure.
It's weaponized peer pressure, yeah. And when I saw like there was a guy's like 37, he's talking to a 16-year-old girl on webcam, and then her dad walks in the room, and he tells the dad, he's like, "Hey, I'm 37, your daughter's 15. I just got her to show me her titties. You can't do nothing about it." Da, 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 da. And like, but they do it by like, so the guy will, they call it grooming, which is the same thing as like pedophilia, but they get the girl to fall in love and then think that she's got a boyfriend, and then she'll send titty shots, and then they coach it through and say, once you got like the titty shots, their real name, their number, now you can start blackmailing them to do whatever you want, because they'll be like, go kill your dog, or I'm gonna send an email to your dad showing titties. And you know what happened to Gerbies?
I didn't know that. No, yeah, I did know that, but that wasn't the same cult. But yes, the
No, it wasn't
similar
the
thing.
same cult, but it was the same concept. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's been what it is it's a perverted branch of the scamming section of society.
Well, real quick, if I'm being completely honest, if I can do a Matt McCusker real quick, if I can do a McCusker, it happened to me.
Really?
It happened to me, dog. I was fucking going through a breakup. I was fucking heartbroken. I was horny. I was so dumb. But this is probably
What?
like 2015. This girl sends me like what looks like a video of her like half naked. She looks super hot, and she was like, "I want you to." She goes, "I want you to videotape yourself jerking off." So I literally at work going to the bathroom, and I was trying to make it to where I didn't actually show my parts because they're not nothing to be proud of. They're not nothing to be ashamed of, but they're not nothing to show off. And but she gets me to do it. And then now this person's got a video, and they're like, you need to give me money, or I'm gonna use your Facebook to find all like your job and who's close to you and send it to them. And immediately I started laughing. I go, dude, anyone who knows me is not going to be shocked by this. So I said, do
Bro,
whatever you got to do, but you're not getting no money from me. Because for one thing, if you send them money,
it
they're
never
not going to
stops.
stop asking you for money. Yeah, yeah. So they're either gonna do it or they're not gonna do it. And trust me, I was like mad. I was like, oh fuck, and I was mad at myself. But I was like, dude, do it. You're not getting $1 from this. So do whatever you gotta do. But I'm like, I'm telling you, it's gonna be a waste of time. Because I was like, even the job I had, the manager I had, he would have found it funny more than anything. As long as it wasn't pushed out too far to where like customers started to see it. Like if it
Right.
would have been just a thing where my boss found out about it, I still wouldn't have got fired. But no one was gonna be shocked by that. But
Also,
this is like this is what over 15 years ago, 15 years ago. So like
also,
I feel like I'm
yeah,
one of the fucking pioneers of it getting done to.
but also you have
So
to be
Gervais
weird to
made me
want
feel
to.
better when it heard it happen to him. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say also like that can only circulate so far because you got to be like if somebody told me they had a video of my straight edge church going friend jerking off, I'd be like I'd never know if it was true or not because I would never watch the video. It wouldn't be
Yeah,
something that
yeah.
was it's not going to circulate well. People don't give a fuck.
Well, nowadays you can say it's AI, but I tell you, like they showed the video back to me, and I was like, it's not
Yeah.
a great video because you see my belly, like I don't have a huge cock. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
It,
It's what it's a 6 inch
it,
dick. If I sneeze, it's 6 inches. If I don't, it's 5.5. You know what I mean? So, but it's like you see my belly. It's not the best uh, view of what do they call that angle? It's not
yeah.
the best angle on my dick. So like I'm
Yeah.
definitely glad like that person did nothing with it. But I remember just laughing. I was like, dude, you're not gonna get nowhere with me. I was like, you just wasted your time more than anything. And now it's a funny story for the podcast.
And I
So
still
props
got
to
a nut.
Gerbies for saying it first.
And you still got a
Yeah, I
nut.
think I think I know. I think so. Yeah, which is so stupid, man. I was so like that's how dumb guys are when they're horny. Because I was like, well, send me like a better video. She's like, no, do this for like, and when you think in your head, I'm sitting there talking to a girl, and I've never
Right.
heard of anyone doing anything like that. I've never heard of any type of blackmail, espionage stuff like this was. Never even
Yeah.
heard of it. Like on that. So like I was, but I was just so sometimes I look back at shit I've done, and I'm like, I'm so dumb.
Dude, I've done stuff like that, but I'm always like, we're on like a live call together.
Yeah. Well, now I've had people try to do it since. I'm like, send me a picture of you doing a West Side Signal sideways. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's all you got to do now. Send me if you want to know if the picture's real. Send me a picture of you doing this very specific thing. But back
Right.
then, like I was at work, and for some reason, that day I was just. I think I was kind of newly sober. And you know how when
Yeah.
like you're like 2 months sober, and you
Yeah.
fucking hormones just come rushing back
Life starts showing up, whether
in.
it's
Yeah, dog.
relationships or sexuality or eating. Everything starts to
That
show up whenever you're a few months sober.
that hasn't happened to me huge this time with the
That's good.
horniness. Yeah,
Well,
I guess. Well,
yeah, but
it kind of
you're
is, and
coming
it's
off
kind of not.
you're coming off of nitrous, not pills. When you come off of pills,
Yeah,
especially Xanax,
yeah, that's
you're
true.
like an exposed nerve to the world. Like I
Yeah,
remember like there was a couple times like in like a 3 day, 4 day detox, which is a long fucking time without pills.
Oh yeah.
Like I would have sex, and it would be like 2 pumps, and it would be the most I ever came. I mean,
Oh,
uh,
during the withdrawal.
oh yeah, like when I would pull out the nut, and it would go over the person's head, over Heather's head,
Yeah, yeah.
like
There is something about the nut when you're. I'm just surprised you wanted to have sex while you're withdrawing, but you were just trying to do anything that felt good.
anything, even just
Yeah,
if I
you
could
weren't
only
in the
get a
mood to
couple
do it. You just
seconds.
wanted. Yeah, yeah. But there is
Yeah, I was
something. Yeah, there is
escaping.
something. I have jerked off during a withdrawal, and there is something about like you don't feel like doing it, but when you do nut, you're like, oh. It's probably because you haven't jerked off in a while or done anything in a while. Because when I was
That
using, I definitely didn't feel like doing anything. Not
that too,
pills.
but it also masks the amount of horniness you have in your body. Like there is a dulling
Yeah,
effect to your nervous system that's caused by pills for sure. Meth
yeah,
is the opposite.
yeah.
Like meth, like we
Yeah,
talked
meth is the
about,
opposite. Yeah,
yeah, like we talked about last week. As long as I started jacking off before I got paranoid, I was fine or fucking.
yeah, yeah.
But
No,
if
the
I
same thing
started,
like Molly makes you real horny, but then Coke makes you horny. You just can't really get. It's funny because Coke is like most of the time I can't get hard, but then sometimes on Coke I'd get real hard.
yeah,
Coke was like
uh,
either like 50-50, not 50-50, more like 70-30. But 30% of the time, for some reason, I'd get fucking extraordinarily hard.
Coke compared to meth, like I never got real big in Coke because it just made me feel bad, and you come down
Yeah,
so fast. You come
so
down
quick. You
so
come down so
fast.
quick, and it's
With
so
meth,
expensive.
you might not be super high all day, but if you do like a big shot or take like a good line, you're high for
Yeah,
like 8 hours. You want to keep doing
and
more before then, but you're high for a long time.
really, the few times I've gotten really good coke when I was like in Daytona, it's a little bit different because the come down's not quite as bad. It don't fuck up your
Yeah.
nose as much. The high does last longer. But even with the best of coke, I would still rather kind of do shitty meth than like really really good coke. Because no matter what,
Meth,
the shittiest coke's still gonna last fucking hours and hours and hours off one line.
yeah, meth has way better legs on it for sure.
Well, I love it, dude. My kidney stones are starting to kill me. It looks like we did it perfect, man. We hit an hour.
We're
Starting
at
to
an
get dark.
hour. I love you.
I love you, brother. I love you, man. You're the man, dude.
Later, Gator.
I'll hit you tomorrow. And on that note, see you later, guys. Look, I'm a silhouette. Say bye, Charlie. Bye, Charlie.